Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely day, and we are only days away from Christmas. So hopefully the sanity is not taking over your joy, and we're able to kind of help you with your next steps while you're just sitting and chilling. So if you are thinking about going for your GED, your ASVAB, your ACCUPLACER, your TEAS test, any kind of high school equivalent, or maybe you're just, I haven't really sat down and did some math for a while, and you just want to kind of brush up on your skills, well, this is the live for you. So what I do is I look at some GED and ASVAB examples and maybe just some general algebra examples. I put it up here. You guys kind of take a look at what the questioning is. You answer the question to the best of your ability, and then I break it down the way that I know how, or another way that can help you during the test. So for example, a hot tub is 75% full with 600 gallons of water. How many gallons of water are in the hot tub when it's half full? Is it A, 200 gallons, B, 400 gallons, C, 800 gallons, or D, 300 gallons? All you have to do is just put either A, B, C, or D into the comments, and I might even take a look and read your name and shout you out. Like, say, Danny is saying B, Barry saying C. We got a follow with Fanta. BC is saying 800, Rob saying C, Kai is saying C, HR saying B. Is that Sean? I think that's what it is. Is B, okay, Kai going to 800, BC, my bad, 400. All right. Robert with the 400. Hello, Profess. How are you? Thank you so much for the rose. I greatly appreciate that. It's good to see that you came back. Allure is saying B. Nicole 400. Thrillers is saying B. Brian with the B. Scat Pack is with the D for show. Okay, Kai, I see ya. Okay, Dr. Dougie, or Sir Dougie, I should say. B. Allie with the B. HR with the 800 for the full, 400 for the half. Brian set up the proportion to get the 400 gallons. Okay, Shadow with the B. Beans, hi, Beans is saying it's B. Shelly with the C, and Blue Steel with a B. All right, so let's take a look at it. If they're saying that 75% of it is full. Ooh, let me turn this down a little bit. Felt like I was shouting. All right, so if we're saying 75% of it's full with 600 gallons in there, okay? So if we take our 600 gallons and we just figure out a way, to hit with my 0.75. So we know a full would be your 800, as everyone's claiming. So if we take our 75%, so let's say our 600, which is what's in there, and if we're saying 75%, so that's 0.75, well, that there will give us 800. Okay? So that's when it's going to be full, because it was 75% full with 600 gallons. So that means that 800 is going to be when it's full. But now they want us to know when it's half full. So we're taking half of this bad boy. So 800 divided by 2 will give us our 400. Okay? So if you don't like, say that's 0.75, maybe you're a fraction lover, which is rare, and I will accept that. Okay. So then we know we definitely have to go with our 0.75 that's coming out, because when you divide that 600, if I said it this way, it's not going to be multiplied by 3/4, it's going to be multiplied by 4/3. Okay, so you can take it that way if you want, because 600 divided by 3 will give us our 200, and 200 times 4 would give us the 800, and then we still have to divide that 800 by 2 because we want to know how it is half full. So if you like it as a decimal, or if you like it as a fraction, There you go. All right, good. The two, who's where the two is coming from, they want to know how much of the water is half full. Okay, so half will be your dividing by 2 or multiplying by 1/2. Okay, so that's where the 2 came from. All right, half. Half means 2, half means 1/2, which means you're dividing by 2. All right, so now for 17, Angela has 15 coins, which are quarters and dimes, in the cash register. The total value of the quarters and dimes is $2.55. How many dimes are in the cash register? Is it A, 8 dimes, B, 7 dimes, C, 3 dimes, or D, 10 dimes? Okay, so there's 15 coins all together, just quarters and nickels. Okay, and right now a value total at $2.55. They just want to know how many dimes are in the cash register. All right. Okay, so we got our C's, we got our A's. We have A's for 8 dimes. All right, thank you for the follow, Paulette. Okay. How did I get 800 divided by 2, Tanya? Well, you had to take 75% of, not of, but 75% the 600. So 600 divided by 0.75 gives you 800. But they didn't want to know how much is in the full tank or hot tub. They wanted to know half. So you had to divide by 2. Okay, so we have C. We got C. We're not sure. Okay. So quarters is 25 cents. Yes, that's what a quarter is, Lloyd. There you go. Robert is A. And I'm not being sarcastic because I do have some people that are outside the United States that just don't know. So if you're seeing that, there you go. All right, so we're saying 3 or saying C. All right, these types of questions make me want to ask Angela. Okay. All right, thank you. Come from where she divides. Okay, thank you. I'm trying to sign up for tutoring, but it won't let me. What do you mean sign up for tutoring won't let you? You just have to send me a message. Then we have that. I bet $1,000 it's A. Oh, okay. All right, so let's take a look. So first of all, we have our total amount. So we have our quarters, which is 25 cents. I'm going to see if I can slide. I'll put this right here. So we have our quarters plus our dimes, D for dimes. There's 15 coins altogether. Then if I go with the money version, so 0.25 for a quarter and 0.10 for a dime. And they're saying the total amount of that is $2.55. So what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is a system of equations. So what we could do to make all of this nice and easy for us is we could, since we're trying to find how many dimes, that means you want to solve this top equation for the quarters. And then you can substitute in for the quarters. So then your results will all be nothing but dimes. So in order for us to get the quarters by itself, we could subtract by D. All right. Or you can just try to do the plug and chug. So like if I had 8 dimes, all right. So if I had 8 of those, so I can take like 15 minus 8 just to see. So that would be like 7 quarters. So if we know 7 quarters, so that would be 0.25 times 7, that will give me $1.75. So if I have 8 dimes, that's 80 cents. So if I add 80 cents to that $1.25, will it give me my $2.55? It would. So what we could do, instead of doing all of this with the system of equations, you can plug some information in. So if you try the 8 for the dimes, and then you could figure out how many quarters you have by subtracting 15 minus 8. That would give me 7. But I know that 7 quarters, so I know 4 quarters will give me $1. So if I have 8 quarters, that would be like $2, but I have 1 less. So that's why that's going to be the equivalent of $1.75. So if I subtract that $1.75 from the $2.55, that would give me 80 cents. And since a dime is worth 10 cents, that means we got 8 dimes. Okay? So when you take these exams, you could do all of this work with system of equations, which will work perfectly fine. But at the same time, there's going to be times that you can just plug stuff in, but you need to know how much the value of a quarter is and how much was the value of a dime. Now, 418. A rectangular tabletop measures 48 inches long by 36 inches wide. A square game board, that is 18 inches on each side is on the tabletop. Which amount of the tabletop's area is not covered by the game board? Is it A, 1710, B, 1404, C, 1656, or D, 96? And all of them are squared inches. What do you think? So Brian is telling me B. Okay, give you some time to figure out. Okay, Dylan's Fish is telling me B as well. Okay. All right. Okay, Shireen, thank you so much for your honesty. Beans, how did you get 8 dimes? I can't go through the very beginning. You're going to have to watch the replay. So now we got Sean's with our B because I really only have like 40 minutes left. Okay, that's nice. So, so if anything, if you're not sure, okay, I'm going to go through it step by step. So first off, we do have a rectangular, so it's 48 inches by 36 inches. So if we wanted to, they are basically saying the square game board that is 18 inches on each side is on the tabletop. So we're not talking about the area around it. It's almost like this. Here is your rectangle tabletop. And here's your square board. Okay, and it's just sitting right on there. So they're saying that this is 18 inches each side. So I'm going to say 18 inches. And then we have our long, we got our 48, and we have our 36. Okay, so this is basically what they're kind of looking at. So they want to know which amount of the tabletop area is not covered by the game board. So they want to know what is happening here. So anything in green that's not involving that. Okay, so Beans is thinking it's A. Sandra is thinking it's A. Okay. So here we go. First, we need to figure out what is that rectangular shape. So we're going to need to multiply our 48 by 36. So we need to figure out its area, not the perimeter. Okay, we're looking at area. So first we have to get this multiplication down. So we have 6 and 8, that gives me 48. Carry the 4. 6 and 4, 24 plus 4, that gives me 28. 8 and 3, that's 24. Carry the 2. 4 and 3 is 12 plus 2 gives me 14. So when we add them, we got 8. 12 carry the 1. 6 now 1, 7. And bring down the 1. So this is going to be the area of the tabletop, which is 1,728. But now you need the area of the game board. And the game board is 18 squared, which is going to be 18 by 18. Okay? I know what 18 squared is, but, you know, for us, we got to do it by hand. So there we go. We got 64. So that's 12. That's 14. Then we have our 8 and 1. The reason why I'm doing all this by hand is when you're taking the GED and the ASVAB and the ACCUPLACER, you cannot use a calculator. So you got to work your game. So if all you guys are getting me answers using your calculator, hey, when you go time for you to take the test and all of a sudden they say put up your calculators or you got to turn your phones in, hey, you got to practice the way you play. So we're going to subtract those two. So if I got the area of the rectangle tabletop and I got the area of the game board, if I subtract those two, I'm going to get the area that's left over. So then you have your 4, your 0, your 4, and your 1. Once you got that 4 with the subtraction, you should be looking at your answers. Right away, B is looking mighty good. Then you did your 2 minus 2, you get your 0. There's nothing else. You know D was going to be out because once you got this as your area, you know it's definitely going to be more than 96. All right, so really it's going to be like a close thing until you do your subtraction right here. Okay, all right. So now let's go to the next one. So a map of Texas have a scale of 1 centimeter to 11 kilometers. The actual distance between Dallas and San Antonio is about 440 kilometers. How far apart are the cities on the map? Is it A, 11 centimeters, B, 44 centimeters, C, 40 centimeters, or D, 22 centimeters? Okay. Hello, Vladimir. How are you? You're saying C. Eduardo is saying D. Brian, C. Blaze, B. Jabbar, B. Hey, is this proportion? Yes, it is. Okay, Shells. How are you doing, Janice? Okay, Shells is saying B. Hey, Shells, welcome back. Okay, Wist Love saying B. Kevin, B. Israel, C. I see that. We're saying 440 divided by 11. Okay, DCF is saying B. Okay, Laverne is saying C. I haven't seen that name in a minute. Mel, I'm seeing B. I'm all right. Okay, Jocelyn, how are you? Saying C. Otis, B. Someone's coming to see you, Otis. No, I'm just kidding. You're probably like sick of that. You're sick of it. I'm sorry. It was just there. Danny, C. Ma, C. Sandra, B. Okay, thanks so much. Becky with a B. All right, we'll see the news. Noodles, okay, with a B. Merry Christmas. Good to you. Yeah. Shadow. Band is saying C. You're funny. All right, so we are setting it up as a proportion. So if anything, it's really, if we're doing, because this is 1 centimeter is equal to 11 kilometers. And they're saying that we're dealing with 440 kilometers and we want to know how many centimeters that is. Well, if you want, you can say 1 centimeter for 11 kilometers, or you can just do the simple division. And then you're like, okay, how many centimeters to 440? Okay. Well, you got to think, all right, what, like 11 times what will give me 440? Well, if I multiply that by 40, so if I can multiply that denominator by 40, and if I multiply my numerator by 40, 40 times 1 will give me 40. Okay? If you want to cross multiply, you can cross multiply it as well, which will end up getting you like 440 divided by 11. And that will also give you your 40 as well. Okay? All right, so you can go through that. There you go. All right, so not too shabby, not too shabby. All right, so Jake, they love doing these problems. Love them. Okay, so Jake is 4 years older than Kenneth. Alicia is 2 years younger than Kenneth. The sum of Jake's, Kenneth's, and Alicia's age is 38. What is Kenneth's age? Is it A, 9, B, 15, C, 12, or D, 10? I know, trust me, they love, love, love these type of questions. GED and ASVAB as well. All right. So let's see what you guys get. So just take a moment, think about it. Okay, Jake is 4 years older than Kenneth. Alicia is 2 years younger than Kenneth. If you add their ages up, it will give you 38. And they want to know, what is Kenneth's age? Everybody's like, I'm waiting for you to do it. Well, give it a try, guys. Give it a try. Okay, Ashley Marie is saying 12. Michelle is saying 12. Thank you for the follow, DGF. Appreciate it. Sam is also saying 12. I see you, Sam. Okay, Piece of Life. Never. Never. We're saying that Kenneth wasn't never born. Okay, Mighty, we're saying C, which is 12. Okay, Sandra, we're saying 12. Vladimir, 8, is saying 12. Eduardo is saying C, which is 12. Okay, Laverne was saying C. Okay, user 87 saying C. Jocelyn saying C. Okay, seems like it's unanimous. Oh, you were telling people to answer it. I know, I used to be that. Yes, use the process of elimination. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so if we think about it, we don't know what Kenneth's age is, all right? But all I know is, let's say J is for Jake. So I'm going to say I know Jake is 4 years older than Kenneth, and let's say Kenneth is my K. And then we have Alicia, right? So Alicia is 2 years younger than Kenneth. So we got Kenneth minus that 2. But we're saying that all their ages. So let's start with Kenneth. We don't know. Then we have Jake. Almost forgot his name for a second. Then we have Alicia. Gives me my 38. So if I add them up, I got 1, 2, 3 Ks here. Then I have 4 minus 2. That gives me a positive 2. Is equal to 38. So if I want to get 3K by itself, I would have to subtract the 2. So I'm subtracting 2 from the 38. So that gives me 36. Now I have to divide both sides by 3. So this is one way of doing it. So 36 divided by 3 will give me 12. And if you want, you can just say, all right, well, if Kenneth is 9, if I go 9 plus 4, that gives me 13. And then also 9 minus 2. If I add those three ages together, will I get 38? You can think of it that way. Because if I say, all right, well, if, say, Jake, keep wanting to say Jack. Say Jake was like, all right, we'll say Kenneth is 9. We'll just try it out. I'm going to put it on here since I got things. So we're saying if Kenneth was 9, then we have 9 plus 4. Then we're going to have 9 minus 2. And we want to see if it equals 38. Okay, so here we're going to have 13. We're going to have 9 plus 13. 9 minus 2, that gives me 7. And we want to see if that gives me 38. Well, 13 and 7, that gives me 20. That gives me 29. So obviously, A was not going to work. You see how we're doing it? So if we go with the 12, because we're just going to shoot to it. So we know Jake is 4 years older, so that's 12 plus 4. And we know Alicia is 2 years younger, so that'll be 12 minus 2. And we want to see if it equals 38. Well, 12 minus 4, that gives me 16. And 12 minus 2, that gives me 10. So here I got 28 plus 10, that gives me 38. So that's why 12 works. Okay, do you see the process? So you can do it algebraically like I did with our unknowns, but then you can also do the guess and check just by knowing who's going to be of what ages. Okay, that's what you did, add them together. There you go, Sierra. Okay. Okay, what do you mean what happened to 4? Yep, 12 plus 4 gives me the 16. We add them together. The 12 minus 2 gave me the 10. We subtract them. Okay. Yeah, that way is a lot easier. So, as you guys are still here, which is great, I'm glad that you guys are actually taking a moment of your day. I have so much stuff. I know. I was just doing a whole bunch of stuff with my notebooks, and now I've lost half of my stuff. So anyway, as soon as I find the card, I will show you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because it's a hot mess today. All right, so let's take a look. So Miss Jacobs is making a large circular rug with a radius of 10 feet. Every square foot of the material used to make the rug costs her 50 cents. Approximately how much will the material for the entire rug cost? Is it A, $157, B, $167, C, $628, or D, $314? Either way, an expensive rug. Okay. Hey girl, hey, how are you? I know every time you go live, it's either I'm going live or I have a client, which is hilarious. It's like, all right. Oh, here it is. All right. Okay, so I have an A. I got one person with the A. Thank you so much for the follow, Cedric. Thank you, Janice. Thank you. All right. Kevin, you got my A. You are killing it. Thank you, Janice. All right. Queen E with an A. 3.14 rule. Okay. So Jocelyn with an A. Waffles. Oh, such a happy name. Is saying C. Fancy Nancy with an A. Okay, thank you. The first two answers are both close. It's circular. Can you buy the fabric in a circular shape? I don't know. I just want to know, are you looking at area or perimeter? And obviously we can't. Well, for us, we don't buy fabric in circular form. But I got you. Shroom, thank you for the follow. Talk Talk or Talk Square, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's take a look. Now, since they want to find a circular motion, we're looking at area. So the area of a circle is your pi r squared. So we have to square that radius of 10. So that's going to give us our 100 pi. So now we know that pi, for most part, if you want to do a little bit of rounding, is going to be roughly that 3.14. Okay, we know it's an extended number, but I know if I do 3.14 and I just kind of want to use a rough amount, if I multiply it by 100, that means I need to move this decimal place over 2 places to the right. So we're looking at roughly like around $314. So just with that, that is the area. Okay, that's not the price, because we know that's going to cost her 50 cents, right? So it's not going to be bigger than $314. It's almost like half. So that's how you know that C is definitely out. D is out because that will give us the exact area, roughly. But we just need to take half of this, okay? Because if we're going to multiply it, we can multiply it by 0.5, or we can basically divide by half. And when we do that, we're going to get our 157. Because the 2 goes into 3 one time. Okay, bring down the 1, the 11. 5 2s go into 11 at 10. Then we have our 4, and then that makes it a 14. So 7 2s go into 14, nice and even. Okay. All right, thanks so much for the shares. Nope, you're not dumb. That's okay. Because you just basically got this. You just forgot about the pricing. That's all it is. Okay, so this is the time to make all those tweaks. Okay, this is definitely the time to make all those tweaks. No thanks. All right. So, John's quiz scores in science class are 8, 6, 10, 7, 9, and 5. What is John's average quiz score? Is it A, 6, B, 8, C, 7.5, or D, 8.5? What do you think? Kirsty's like, I love math. I know. Isn't it nice when you just nice and relax, learn a little bit? Thank you so much for the follow, guys. Yeah, if you like the content, this is basically what I do. I try to break all these concepts down, not only to help people achieve a higher score, or maybe even a better than a passing score on the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, anything that deals with algebra, but also to help a lot of, adults that have been scarred, including myself. When we were first initially exposed to mathematics. And guess what? You can do math. Because I used to suck at math. Like, really. When I saw a fraction, nope. Word problems, hell no, not doing it. But through practice, patience, breaking concepts down, you can do math. And that's exactly what I tell a lot of my students. All right? So remember, you are no longer that scarred little middle school kid that wanted to ask that question of, can you do it again? But the teacher says, well, everybody wants to go to recess, and you didn't want to be that kid that says, can we just do one more? Yeah, no one wanted that. Right? Okay, so I see a whole bunch of C's. I got a couple of B's that was in there. right? A lot of C's, a lot of C's. We got Fancy Nancy with the C, Daniel C, Queen C, okay? Allison with the C, Serene love math, but yes, I get it. I get it. I learned to love and appreciate math, okay? My Sicilian, you're saying A. All right, so let's take a look. First, I'm the realist. So we're going to add all of these numbers up, okay? So once we add the 8, the 6, the 10, the 9, the 7, and the 5, we get a total of 45. Now, anytime they say average, average is your mean. Okay, average means the mean. That means we're going to divide our sum by the number of numbers that's here, which is 6. Okay, the number of numbers in your data set. So I know that 45 does not divide evenly with 6. But I know how many 6s can go into 45. Well, I know 7 of them can go in. So right away, knowing that it's going to be 7 point something, my A, my B, and my D is gone. All right. So the only thing that has that 7 is going to be our C. So if you want to, 7 times 6 gives me 42. With that will give me a remainder of 3. Once I put my decimal point down and my 0, now it's a 30. So 30 divided by 6, that would give me 5. But if you're doing the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, this is a timed assessment. So they're not going to look at your scrap paper. They're not going to look at whatever extra little things that you did. They don't care about that. They care, did you pick A, B, C, or D? All right. Sometimes E, depending on the situation. Okay. So if you can see your answer right away, do that. But if you are currently in a class, you need to show your work. That's one and the only way that some of your teachers can give you partial credit, because it might be just something small that you did. So instead of giving you a complete fail on that question, they might be able to give you a little something. So always show your work if you're currently in the class. But standardized testing is a different way of testing. It's a completely different way. Okay. Good. All right. So 23, Robert charged a flat rate of $15 plus $20 per half an hour to repair computers. He started one job at 8:45 a.m. and worked until he finished. The total charge for that job was $75. What time did he finish the job? Was it A, 12:15 p.m.? Was it B, 11:45 a.m., C, 10:15 a.m., or D, 9:30 a.m.? What do you think? Okay, Daniel's saying B. Chastel? Might have to help me there, Swan. Might have to help me. How can I break it down? I want to make sure I get it right next time. So we have Kaya. Hi, Kaya. Joy. Okay. Michael. Hey, Michael. Bobby. Hello. Bobby and Michael, thank you. You're tardy. That's all right. Do you got a pass? Jocelyn, we got a C. Okay. None's a C. JB, how you doing? B. Donald, hello, with an A. Okay. You think it's this? Shall with C. C. Please understand this one. He charged $15 per half an hour or 20. So he charges $20 a half an hour, but $15 for flat rate. So flat rate means showing up. Okay. Without doing a blessed thing, is you still got to fork out $15. Okay. All right. So you're saying it's D. Did you say stretchy gallbladder? Or nice. Got to be C. We got C. All right, we got, I'm at work, okay. All right, so we got B, we got D, not a problem. All right, that's right, okay. Wow, okay. It's flexible. All right. Okay, so you think it's C, we're saying it's D, we're saying 11, all right. So let's think about this. All right, so right off the bat, we got $15. Okay, $20 is going to be for half an hour. Okay, so $20 per half an hour. So if we're starting at 8:45, okay, so I know if you're charging $20 per half an hour, that means he's charging $40 an hour, right? Okay, so half an hour, that's 30 minutes. So for an hour, that would be $40 for an hour. So let's figure out how much that hour is. So if the amount is supposed to equal 75, right? So we're going to take that 75 and we're going to minus that 15. That gives us 60. But then we have 60 divided by 40. So we're looking at an hour and a half, aren't we? So X is going to be an hour and a half. So that means from 8:45, let's count it off. Oops, sorry. Couldn't even see all that. So if we said we're starting at 8:45, an hour will be 9:45. Then that half an hour from 9:45, that's going to be about 10:15. This is representing the hour. And then here's your additional 30 minutes. So he's going to be done at 10:15. So it will be C. Okay, so it is going to be C. Okay. How are we doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down, all around. You're like, this is not too shabby, not too shabby. Okay, questions? Hey, Philly, how you doing? Go Birds. Can I repeat? Sure. So if we think about it, we have a flat fee of $15. So we're starting with the 15. Plus $20 per half an hour. So that's 30 minutes. So if I want to calculate this, say I put in hours, that means he's really getting paid $40 an hour. So if he got paid $75, if I take out the flat rate, that will bring me to $60. Divided by the 40, that will give me 1.5 hours. So if he started at 8:45 to 9:45, that'll be an hour. Then we have to add 30 minutes to this hour. So adding 30 minutes will take us to 10:15. So that's why your answer is 10:15. Thanks for the stickers. What? If you fail your test today, you're going to cheat on your girlfriend? What makes me think that you haven't done so? You trying to use the test to blame it on it. Tisk, tisk. All right, makes sense. Good. All right, got 2 more. I know, I'm working on these books and I really want to get them done before the new year. All right, so 24. The measures of angle P is 44 degrees. Angle Q is 12 degrees less than half the measure of the supplement of angle P. What is the measure of angle Q? Is it A, 136 degrees, B, 80 degrees, C, 124 degrees, or D, 56 degrees? Okay. And I know there's probably, if you haven't seen geometry in a minute or you haven't gotten to geometry yet, this might be a little bit tough because a lot of it is dealing with terminology. And I'm more than willing to break it on down. Okay, Bangles is saying D. Hee hee is saying 56. Okay. Nanesh is saying C. Shells is saying C. Okay. Got that with the C. All right. Okay, you're saying 56, Michael. All right, got you. Letter D. Okay. Mighty Fire is saying D. Okay. All right. Hey, Bill Ha is saying D. Welcome back. Bobby's saying 124, which is C. Okay. All right. SOS is saying 56, he thinks. Swan is saying D. Okay. Jamie's saying D as well. All right. Well, let's. Lab Gun is saying D. Okay. Not a problem. So glad you're here. All right. Is that live forever or livey forever? Or livey forever? The same 56. Okay. So, if we're saying the measure of angle P is 44 degrees, so we're saying that angle Q, I'm just going to write a capital Q, is 12 degrees less than, so minus 12, half the measure of the supplement of angle P. Now, the supplement means 180 degrees. So when you have two pairs of angles that add up to 180. So if we already know that one of them is 44, we just have to do a little subtraction, right? So then we just borrow from the 8 to make it into a 7. Make that 0 into a 10. So we have our 6, we have our 3, we have our 1. So for a lot of you guys are telling me if it's A, you just told me the supplement. Okay, so now we need to take half of that 138. So how many 2's can go into 13? Well, 6 with the remainder of 1. Bring down the other 6, we have 16. How many 2's can go into 16? We have 8. So now we have 68 minus 12. 6 and 2, that gives me 6. Or 8 minus 2 gives me 6. And 6 minus 1 gives me 5. Our answer is going to be 56. Okay, I am ready for questions. There you go, Swan. There it is. Wally. Okay, so for those that are telling me like the 124, do you see what happened? Okay, got a couple of people lost. Gotcha. I'm going to repeat in a moment. This is actually for the ASVAB. So people that are going into the military, but this is like first semester geometry for that particular question. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is. All right. Now, when you have two different types of angles, you have complementary angles, and then you have supplementary angles. So complementary angles begins with a capital C. If I drew a line going through both of the endpoints, I would create a 9, meaning two angles add together will give me 90 degrees. Supplementary angles is an S. If I drew a line connecting these two endpoints, it will give me an 8. So supplementary angles are 180 degrees. So since this one called for, they wanted to know half the measure of the supplement of angle P. So if angle P is 44 and they said supplement, supplementary means those two angles will add up to equal 180 degrees. So that's why I did the subtraction, because if we know one of the angles is 44, that means if I subtract it by 180, I'll find out the degree measure of the other angle. So that's where we got the 136 from. But it says angle Q is 12 less than half the measure of the supplement. So that's why we had to either multiply it by 1/2 or you just simply divide by 2. That means the same thing. So we got the 136 divided by 2, and that took care of what I have underlined right here, which is half the measure of the supplement of angle P. But then angle Q is 12 degrees less than. Less than means subtraction. It doesn't mean the inequality sign. It doesn't mean this. Okay? This is it. This is when they say is less than. When they write the word is in front, that's inequality. When it's just less than, that's subtraction. So with that, you're going to take your 68, which came from the division of the 136, subtract by 12 to get your 56. So the 68 is half of the 136. Yes. You can say it that way too, Mel. All right. Well, thank you. All right. Not a problem. Okay, our last one for today. You're like, what? I'm like, yes. All right, so we got Rose and Carla plays on the same basketball team. During the last game, Rose scored 3/5 of the team's points. Carla scored 16% of the team's points. What percentage of the team's points were not scored by either Rose or Carla? Is it A, 76%, B, 66%, C, 24%, or D, 34%? This one, I think this one came from, what do you call it? ASVAB for Dummies. I hate the name. I really wish they changed the name of it. Because you're not dumb. If you want to go to the military, because especially if you're trying to get in Navy, you got to be up there just for the particular jobs that you want to get. Okay, I know, right? I just don't like it. Yeah, so this one came, I think, from ASVAB for Dummies. I think this is the one that came online, if I'm not mistaken. Because there are some of them that are free. You just have to know where to look. Just type it in and keep searching. I lost it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we got Louise is saying 24, Michael saying 24%. How'd you get 136? 180 minus 44. Okay, so you're saying Bangles is saying 66. Virtual Dose is saying 24. Miss Shy is saying 24. Mighty Fire is saying C. Okay, Christy with a C, Queen with a C. All right. So let's take a gather. All right, so we have 3/5. Okay, we need to figure out what 3/5 could be as a percentage. First thing, let's divide that bad boy. So we have our 5, our 3 divided by 5. Well, obviously we need to put our point in our zeros. So how many 5s can go into 3 is 0. How many 5s can go into 30? Exactly 6. So we're going to put it at 60. So this is going to be our 60%. And then we had Carla. She was at 16. So she was at 16%. So if I add these two up, I'm going to get 76. So basically, these two rapid stars, they scored 76% of the team's points, right? So if we want to know, we go back to the traditional 100, none of this 110% stuff, and we just subtract it to see what's left over. This will give us a 4 because we're going to borrow from the 10, make it into a 9, and make that 0 into a 10. So 10 minus 6 gives me 4, and 9 minus 7, that gives me 2. So this is going to be the remaining. That's basically the rest of the team at 24%. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So the 76% is what Rose and Carla scored. They wanted to know how many of the team points were not scored by them. Okay, 76 were by them, but were not is a 24. All right. Okay, where the 60 came from? We actually had to change this fraction, the 3/5, into a decimal or into a fraction. What was the highest number of points I scored? Let's say, college, let's say it was, I think it was 36. And that was against GW. I think it was 36. And it was against GW. And that's when GW was ranked number 6. We beat them when they were number 8, and we beat them when they were number 6. Fun times. Overseas, yeah. I think I had like 37 average, but I think the most I scored in one game was like 42, 45. Okay, not a problem. Rising Stars was the hint. True. All right, so I know a lot of you guys have lives, and plus I really want to get back to these workbooks. I'm trying to develop workbooks for you guys, which will help you with the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, and especially a lot of those algebraic components. Sorry, I got the puzzle piece to be dealing with. I swear I feel like I have to be a ninja with these things. And what I'm trying to do is get all that stuff ready and also some resources. So I'm trying to get at least the first 5 books ready for you guys before the first of the year. And of course, Amazon is being very particular. So I think I'm just going to sell them myself. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. That's just what's going to happen. But if you want any of the replays, this is where you go to. Even give me some time to do today's. But this is where you go to, and this is the channel. And I have a playlist that says YouTube replays. So, or TikTok replays. So you can go there. Hopefully they don't banish me. You can go there and you can get all of my lives since February the 2nd. That's when I started taking this whole TikTok series journey seriously. And I do have like mixtures of these things, but I also have like particular items, like say factoring. If you're struggling with slope, if you're struggling with the equation of the line, all of those videos are there. It's just a replays of all of my lives. Have fun with it, watch it. But if you want to wait, because we're going to have these workbooks, which is going to help you out. So it's basically you can take me I don't want to say take me home with you because that's just weird. But basically, you'll have me to do the instruction, plus you'll get extra practice problems. And every volume is a volume of 15. Every volume you get a summarized quiz. So thank you so much. So I'm trying to get, yes, Michael, you guys are so crazy. So for the most part, it's like I'm trying to get all these resources that will, one, doesn't feel like it's overwhelming to you, and two, you will actually have somebody to break down the concepts step by step. And of course, one of the extra things, which is the upgrade, is if you want copies of the videos of me actually describing why is the answer B, why is the answer 48, and actually taking you step by step as to why is this your answer, instead of just looking at an answer key like most places do. So that will just be there for you. So that's what's going on. Well, thank you so much. So I will be hopefully presenting that. I'm going to get back to work with that momentarily. But if you are currently taking, maybe you're about to take a college algebra course, or maybe you're trying to get ready for your GED and your ASVAB and you need some extra assistance, just let me know. This is the perfect time because all my regular clients are off on vacation. School is going to close today. Believe it or not, was the last day for Baltimore. Man, craziness. But for the most part, if you do need assistance, just go ahead and reach out. Just send me a message. Don't just say hi or hey or what's up. Actually tell me what exactly you need, because I usually delete those. And I'm not kidding. There's probably like 5 to 12 people who are saying, she never got back to me. I'm like, you just said hi. Like, I don't know you. All right. So have an amazing rest of your day. Hopefully this will help you out. If you need some more assistance, you know how to reach me. Just send me a direct message. And if anything, I will be here tomorrow, same time at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Probably doing the same old thing for Christmas because I don't celebrate anymore. And hey, here we go. All right. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.